There was once an explorer named Daniel Reyes who had spent years chasing forgotten legends, but none fascinated him more than the tale of Eldoria, a lost city said to be hidden deep within the Amazon, built by an ancient civilization that vanished overnight. Most people dismissed it as myth, but Daniel had proof: a fragment of a stone tablet inscribed with strange symbols and a map that hinted at its location. Determined to find it, he ventured alone into the dense jungle, carrying only his compass, notebook, and faith that the stories were real. After days of travel through suffocating heat, relentless rain, and the constant buzz of insects, he found himself surrounded by trees so tall they blocked the sun. On the fifth night, he camped near a river when he noticed a reflection in the water, a faint golden light flickering deep in the jungle. Thinking it might be a village, he followed it, pushing through thick vines until he stumbled into a clearing. There, half buried under moss and thyme, stood colossal stone pillars engraved with symbols matching those on his tablet. His heart raced. He had found the gateway to Eldoria. The air around him felt electric, humming softly as if the stones themselves were alive. He stepped closer and brushed off the moss, revealing a carved sun surrounded by 8 stars. As he touched it, the ground beneath him trembled, and the jungle went silent. A faint rumble echoed below, followed by a gust of cold air rising from cracks in the earth. A hidden staircase appeared, spiraling downward into darkness. Gripping his flashlight, Daniel descended, every step echoing like a heartbeat. The deeper he went, the colder it became until he entered a massive underground chamber glowing with faint blue light. In the center stood a giant stone statue of a figure holding a sphere of crystal that pulsed like it was breathing. Daniel whispered in awe, realizing the sphere was the heart of Eldoria, described in ancient texts, believed to be the source of the city's power. He approached it carefully, but as soon as his fingers brushed its surface, the sphere flared to life, flooding the chamber with light. Symbols on the walls began to glow, showing scenes of people harnessing its power, growing crops, building towers, and finally destroying themselves in war. The light intensified, and suddenly Daniel saw visions of the city as it once was: golden spires, laughing children, people worshipping the crystal sun. But then came fire, chaos, and screams. The city crumbled, swallowed by the jungle. The vision ended as fast as it began, leaving Daniel trembling. "So, that's what happened," he whispered. "They destroyed themselves with what they worshipped." He backed away, but the sphere pulsed again, projecting a voice inside his head. "The seeker of light becomes the bearer of shadow." Daniel's breath quickened. "Who are you?" he shouted, but there was no answer, only the faint hum of energy. The ground shook violently and cracks spread across the floor. He turned to run as chunks of stone fell from above, narrowly escaping through the tunnel. Once outside, he collapsed to the ground, gasping. Behind him, the earth sealed itself, hiding the entrance as if protecting its secret again. The jungle returned to silence. He looked around. Something felt off. The trees were different, larger, the air heavier. When he checked his compass, it spun wildly. The sun was in the wrong position. He had only been gone minutes, but his watch now showed a date 50 years in the future. Panic surged through him. He wandered for hours until he reached a small clearing where a group of modern researchers had set up camp. When they saw him, they froze. One of them recognized his face from an old expedition record. They said Daniel Reyes had vanished in 1974 and was presumed dead, but he looked exactly the same. Shaken, Daniel told them about Eldoria, but when they checked his location, the coordinates led to nothing but dense forest. No ruins, no carvings, no light. Yet, when he opened his satchel, he found the crystal sphere inside, glowing softly. He didn't remember taking it. That night, as the researchers slept, he sat by the fire, watching the sphere pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. "What are you?" he whispered. For a brief moment he saw reflections inside it, cities, oceans, stars, and then his own face splitting into two, One human, one something else. The fire dimmed, and the sphere whispered, "The light chooses those who dare." He stared at it, feeling its warmth spreading through his veins. In that instant, he realized Eldoria hadn't been destroyed. It had moved, shifting through time to protect itself from mankind. And somehow, it had chosen him as its keeper. At dawn, he disappeared again, leaving behind only his compass, frozen and pointing not north, but straight toward the rising sun. Decades later, pilots flying over the same jungle at night sometimes report seeing a faint golden glow beneath the canopy, pulsing like a heartbeat. And locals say the ghost of an explorer still walks there, guarding the secret of Eldoria until the world is ready to believe once more.